These days, the people who are supposed to prevent crime and disorder are involved in crime and disorder. Let us look into some uneducated, corrupt cops that got outsmarted by other cops. How pathetic is it when the system itself is corrupt? What are the consequences of corruption? The most common corruption among police officers is bribery, abuse of seized drugs, tampering with the evidence, abuse of power for personal gain, drunk driving, and theft from crime scenes or property rooms of departments. If proven guilty, these corrupt officers will be punished for a term which shall be not less than 3 years, but which may extend to 7 years, and shall also be liable to fine. Along with social and legal consequences, this erodes the trust the public has in officers. Here is a list of corrupt government officials who destroy the reputation of the hard-working, righteous officers in the department. Sheriff Lee Baca. Leroy David Baca is a former American law enforcement officer who served as the 30th Sheriff of Los Angeles County, California from 1998 to 2014.
I don't see myself as the future. I see myself as part of the past.
He joined the United States Marine Corps Reserve in 1964. After his service of over 50 years, Lee Baca decided to resign. Although Lee Baca mentioned the reason for his resignation as private and personal, what do you think is the negative perception that became a prevailing reason for his resignation in 2014? Soon after Lee Baca's resignation, the truth was unveiled. The former sheriff of Los Angeles County became a convicted criminal. He was charged with corruption. Over the years, Lee Baca would take bribes to beat up inmates. The justice will never be served, but Lee Baca was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Bribery is the most common corruption among police officers. Sheriff James Lujan. Sheriff James Lujan was the sheriff of Rio Aruba County. He was arrested for his association with drug dealing.
The law is the law. You are not above the law, nor can you ignore the law when it serves your purpose.
It was not just James, but some of his friends. The consequences of this collective corruption were grim. Sheriff James Lujan and 12 other friends were arrested for possession of drugs and dealing drugs. What a contrasting combination of profession, police in the daylight, and drug dealer in the dark, preventing crimes and being a part of these crimes simultaneously. When a vast majority of officers work relentlessly to seize the most dangerous drugs to ensure the protection of society, some few other works towards bringing it out, putting the society in danger. Apart from the arrest, there were no further updates about these officers. They definitely got demoted to the prison. A deep fall from being respected police officers to criminals. A Michigan sheriff was arrested for drunken driving. His car was pulled over to the side of a road. Reportedly, police arrived to the news that he was dead. But instead of a dead body, the police found a super drunk body, with a sobriety test result of 233. He says he had 4 beers in the last 4 hours. The sheriff was begging not to take legal action on this. He was having a bad day, he said. But if a common citizen was having a bad day, is he allowed to drink in a car and pull over on the side of a random road? Definitely not. The Constitution of the United States emphasizes that equality in a constitutional democracy means equal justice under the law, and no one is above or beyond the reach of the law, and no one is entitled to unfair advantages or subjected to unequal penalties based on the law. This subjects that every citizen should be protected and punished justly, irrespective of the title they hold. Brian Filipiak. The next lawbreaker is a lieutenant who swerved on the interstate. It was Brian Filipiak of Montmorency County, Michigan. He was arrested for drunken driving on November 13, 2016. Brian admitted that he was drunk in the middle of the day, but it was hard for other officers to handle the situation, as he resisted the arrest. Police misconduct statistics gathered by the Cato Institute's National Police Misconduct Reporting Project, NPMRP, confirm that around 1% of all police officers commit misconduct in a given year, and that the consequences of such misconduct are stern. It is unfair to generalize the corruption in this 1% of police officers on the whole of them.